was creepy.
I just finished interviewing the people at the building, and I noticed that the camera was acting a little intermittent. The files taking a little long to save, and the stop button was becoming inoperable. And when I went outside and took some shots outside, the camera started acting totally normal again. So that's my first paranormal experience here at this location.
It was Patty, Yolanda, and Marcy, and they were sitting at the front desk, and all of a sudden this lovely copier just started spitting out blank copies of everything. Now we have a new printer over there, so I brought the haunted one over here to us. Just sitting at my desk, and you'll feel my ponytail tugged on. I was filling something out to turn around and felt someone physically touch me, and at the time that they touched me, I turned around and looked, and I was the only person in here. I was in the room and walking from my desk to the kitchen area when I walked past this cubicle, and this chair, old rickety chair that made a lot of noise, and the chair actually swiveled and pushed into the desk. It was after 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It starts to get a little creepy here then, and I just kind of looked up and said, "That's not funny." It doesn't really matter where you're at in the building when you hear the hushed whispers and the voices in the building. I've been in the other room and heard a full-on conversation in the corner and actually thought that it was Patty. And I went over and looked for her, and she wasn't there. She was in the kitchen. And it was a full-on conversation. I thought for sure that it was her. I've been in this room and heard full murmured whispers and voices, like it sounded like someone was in the building, went out and looked, and all the lights are off and no one's here but me.
Okay, so now we're actually in the kitchen. This is where we do our meal program. We have a gentleman that used to work here, and he used to help with the meal program by the name of Blaine. He was always a fun-loving guy, a jokester, so we actually think he comes back to visit us. In addition to him, there's an entity we believe is a woman. She's been here for a long time. We believe she comes up behind us and mimics voices of those who work here. She'll talk behind our ear in a voice of a coworker. She likes to open cabinets and move things around, and she likes to reorganize the cabinets in the other room. She likes to tap you on the shoulder. Some of the new things that are starting to happen is occasionally we'll come in on a Monday morning and there'll be a burner lit. It's going very low, but it's still on, and it wasn't on when we left. Okay, so we're currently standing right now. We've had a lot of incidents right in this area. There's a big silver bowl that sits right in here, and when they are not serving, it sits in here upside down. We were actually at our desks, which is on the other side of the room. The bowl flipped upside down.
We were all sitting at the far end of the large room. We all heard the bowl flip over.
And then sounded like it flipped out of here onto the floor and rattling on the floor. But when we came over to inspect it, it was just sitting right side up.
I got up and walked to the other end of the room, and there was nothing on the floor. Well, then that's when we realized that this bowl that normally sits domed up had been flipped over and was sitting domed down in the hole.
Normally it's upside down. It was now right side up. We have trays that we wash, that we serve the meals on, and the trays were stacked so that they could dry, and the next thing we know, it looked like somebody had taken the trays and smacked them, and they just went flying all over the floor over there. So we've had conversations happen over here, same ones with like a man and a woman, and some music playing and water going. So this is also an area that gets a lot of stuff going on. We're actually standing in the storage room. There's been a lot of different things that have actually happened in this room. But the main thing is we've actually seen apparitions in here. We saw a gentleman and a small boy, and several of us who've actually seen the man and the small boy. Other things we've heard conversations. Sometimes it sounds like a group of gentlemen are having just, a friendly conversation, a bunch of guys. We've also heard conversations between a couple with water going on behind them. We've heard that in here, and we've actually heard it out in the big main room.
Another thing interesting that happened when we got here is as soon as some of the employees got out of their cars, they noticed that lights were off that are never supposed to be off. Cafeteria door that comes down, and then they open it, and that's the kitchen behind there. And they say that the lock doesn't ever usually work on there, and all of a sudden it's locked.
Don, was that you? Can you at least touch the bowl? It'll recognize that you're there. I know you can touch stuff because you touch Yolanda in the shoulder all the time. Seconds, then I'll click and it's 40 seconds, then I'll click and it's 2 seconds. No, but we're hearing a lot behind us at the main reception area. I don't know if it's a piece of paper or a pencil. Something fell.
Something to note. It may be the printer because the printer that's flashing with the orange.
It's not even a working printer, and it's flashing.
It, so I'm wondering if something printed.
Do like a reset where it
It's
just
not hooked to anything.
So it's got
It printed a December calendar. You're not hooked to this printer, are you? It's disconnected. It's not hooked to the network anymore. Canceling the job, is that okay? It says no job to cancel.
So it was flashing and it's not even a working
It's
printer.
not hooked up, no. He was always a fun-loving guy, a jokester, so we actually think he comes back to visit us from time to time.
It doesn't really matter where you're at in the building when you hear the hushed whispers and the voices in the building.
Is there a person here named Emily? Now that we think your name is Emily, first of all, have you been here for 30 years?
We got the parabolic mic, the rotating paraspectrum camera, geophone, static detector, trigger object picture, E-field detector, paracorder, K2 meter.
A short pause here because we've had the recorder back there shut off, which is pretty strange.
We'd really like to hear from you, Blaine. Can you please talk to us? Conversations between a couple with water going on behind them. We believe she comes up behind us and mimics voices of those who work here.
Emily, is that... We've had a lot of incidents right in this area, and then some music playing and water going. So, is there anyone there that would like to speak to us? Wow, you have a lot to say. Can you try a little harder?
Well, we know you're actually there, so now we'd like, here's your chance. You can actually contact us. If you touch Yolanda's photo, she has her photo of her children. Well, we know you're actually there, so now we'd like, here's your chance. You can actually contact us. If you touch Yolanda's photo, she has her photo of her children. Photo of her children. Photo of her children.
Did you knock a pencil on the floor?
So this section right here is a little burst of energy, but you don't hear anything. It turns out it's subsonic EVP. The diaphragm of the microphone element is being manipulated with a very, very low energy, something below 20 cycles per second, which we can't really hear. I'm classifying this as paranormal because I feel that this was the entity trying to answer these questions. There still was an intelligent response that came literally a couple seconds after the question.